Okay, so just in case you haven't been updated, uh, I started a job as a garbage man here in Carroll County, Mississippi, um, December 10th. It was a Friday. I worked one day, and then, of course, we had Saturday, Sunday off. And I went to work on the 13th, and around 9, 9:15 a.m., I was putting a garbage can back up on the curb uh, in the man's yard, or man or woman's yard. And when I turned around and stepped off of the curb, my knee popped so loud that the driver heard it over the engine of the truck. He was still in the front of the truck. The other helper was on the back, and I screamed and cussed really loud and almost fell because my knee popped. Um, and um, and again, I almost cried. So, long story short, I got told by the specialist, Dr. Kraft, over in Jackson, that I could go back to work. And my first day back to work was April 15th or April 14th or 15th. Let me see. Let me double check this. Um, so so I went in. They told me I had to go up to the office here in Carroll County and get a drug test done before the company would let me come back. So I was like, okay, not a problem. So I went in on, and they told me I would be paid for that day. So I went in on August 12th to the office, and Percy, our direct supervisor, and I, and another guy, we call him Mr. Clean. Um, we sat there in the shop for like, because Percy told me, well, corporate told me not to go in until about 8 or 9. And then they would send the paperwork over from the facility that was doing the drug test. So that way we could go ahead and go. And they had to approve the drug testing place because instead of driving to Winona or to Greenwood, there was a drug testing facility literally across the highway, US 82, um, in between McCarley and Carrollton, Mississippi. So I went there, but we didn't get the call. Like I said, they told us corporate told me to be there at 8 a.m. So we went. I went in at 8 a.m. and we sat there until 9:30, almost 10 o'clock, before corporate called back with the fax information that they needed to give to this drug testing facility, um, which address is McCarley, even though it's like in between, but it's right off of 82. So once we got that paperwork, we all hopped in Percy's work truck and he took us over there. Um, and in the meantime, Percy left the office and went and got me and Mr. Clean and himself a big old, couple of 20-ounce Mountain Dews, because we had to take a drug test and everything, so we wanted to make sure we were able to pee. So we did all of that, passed the drug test, and I worked maybe 2 days from the 14th and the 15th of April, and then the next week I came in and I worked 3 days, and then the next week after that I worked 4 days, but he refused to pay me for the fourth day, saying that I wasn't on the timesheet, which didn't make no sense. And then he calls me Friday, because I always had Friday off, so that way I could go pick up my kids for visitation. But he calls me Friday, and he goes, "Hey John, what I'm going to do from here on out is I'll just call or text you when I need you. Okay. And I guess it's because I threw a fit that I didn't get paid for that fourth day. And I know for a fact that the driver, Marcus, put me down on that sheet. I saw it. Every day he'd fill out a sheet, and he would say, "You guys want to look this over?" And it was the driver, and his brother was his helper, and I was the backup helper, the third wheel. And so his brother never looked at it. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm cool." And I would look at it because I wanted to make sure that he had my name spelled right. Because the first time I rode with Marcus, he spelled my name Jhon, and then he spelled Riley as Rilley instead of Riley. And so I just checked it, and I said, "Yeah, you got me right." Every day I checked it. But it's neither here nor there. So then, I guess because I threw that fit, that's when he decided, "Hey, I'm gonna call or text you if I need you." And basically, I never got a call or a text, so you could say I was terminated then. And I tried to file for unemployment. I got denied that. Then I tried to get. I filled out several applications, and I kept getting denied because of a misdemeanor on for harassment communications on my record, and I've got proof of that. So, long story short, I decided, well, I'm going to file for disability. So I did that on April 28th or 29th, and I'm at like 55% approved. Because they have to evaluate everything. So I've got a bunch of doctor's appointments now lined up that disability has scheduled, and I had to go get some paperwork from where I got my MRI done. Okay, so as soon as I put this up in front of my chest, it cuts me off. But this is from Grenada where I had the MRI. I've got the DVD. On it. Well, yeah. So I've got the DVD right here that they gave me with the MRI. And on this paperwork, from radiology's review of the MRI, I tore my ACL. Now, Dr. Kraft, the specialist that work comp sent me to, he basically said, "Oh no, it's not a torn ACL." La 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 la. He goes, "But you have little to no cartilage in your left knee, and from looking at the X-rays that I have taken of both your left and your right knee, you're losing your cartilage in your right knee." He goes, "I would give it a couple of years at most, and then you'll be in the same spot with your right knee." So I didn't think nothing about suing because I'm usually not that type of person that wants to sue everybody. Oh my gosh, working caused my injury, blah blah blah. But then I went to jail Thursday for non-payment of child support, and like Judge West told me, he said, if you brought in the paperwork that shows your injury, then we could do this. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. But I went to jail. I got out the next day. We had a church. Well, let's just say we came up with enough money that the DH, the child support office there in Lamar County, agreed that I could pay that and get out. And the judge told me from Lamar County, as we were doing the child support, he said,